Next program is 짐웬들러531. This was the very first program that I ever did that involved or incorporated percentage-based work, which I had never done before this. This program had the longest duration of time that I've been on a program. I did it for probably over a year, continuing to make progress. And the reason you can continue making progress for a very long time, this is the first pro of 531, is that you're operating at 90% of what's called a training max. You're operating at 90% of a true max. So if you can squat 315, you're not operating off of that true max, you're operating on 90%. So when you're doing 80% for a set, you're actually doing 80% of 90% of your actual max. So operating this low will allow you to make progress for a very, very long time. Shooting for rep PRs can keep the lifter motivated. Instead of doing 200, having the same exact rep scheme, 200 for 5, now 205 for 5, now 210 for 5, now 215 for 5. You actually, the variable can change with your reps. So the weight is always changing, but your reps are determined by you. There's always a minimum. With this program, shooting for rep PRs, you never really fail, you just might do better on some days than others. Another pro for 531 is that it's simple and it manages fatigue for someone coming from a bodybuilding routine background. When I used to go into the gym before I did 531, I would always just do a whole bunch of sets, a whole bunch of reps, and go for that pump, just like a bodybuilder might. And I remember the first thing I thought of when I saw 531, when I read it, a friend of mine who was a lot stronger than me said, "Hey dude, do this." I looked at it and I said, that's it? One set of 5, second set of 5, and then a set of 5 plus. So it's really only one real productive set. But sometimes leaving a little bit in the tank, doing a little bit less, will allow you to make progress. Now, one downside of 531 is that you have to know your 1 rep max, or you have to be close to it. 3 rep max, 2 rep max, because you can use a calculator to figure out what you should be lifting for 1 rep. The reason this is not good for beginners is because beginners don't always know their max. I'm not going to have someone walk into the gym for the first time and say, all right, let's see how much weight you can do, and then we'll calculate percentages off that. Starting strength, or the Texas method, you can start with this weight, maybe not the Texas method, but starting strength and strong lifts 5x5. Start with this weight, add 5 pounds, and just continue doing that. You can start with the barbell if you need to. But with 531, you have to have a predetermined 1 rep max. The next downside to 531 is that lazy people could get away with minimum effort because you're not held accountable to a certain number. I actually said that was a pro, and it could be, but it can also be a con. What I mean is, when you're doing the Texas method, or any program that says you have to get this weight for 5 reps, next week you have to get 5 pounds more for 5 reps. It keeps you accountable. There is no gray area. You know you have to do 5 reps. But with 531, there's a minimum that you have to get, and a lazy person might just get minimum every time or just past that. But I guess lazy people aren't going to get very strong anyways, so that doesn't really matter. Lastly, with 531, there is no end in sight. This is not a 12-week program or a 6-month program, 1-month program. You do it for as long as you want. When 짐웬들러 created it, he said, I don't want to know where I'm going to be in 6 weeks. I want to look at where I'm going to be in 5 years. So because there is no end in sight, it might be difficult for someone to stick with because they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's when you're on a 12-week program, you know, all right, I'm on week 8, 4 more weeks to go. Let's do this. Let's keep pushing. But with 531, I've noticed that some people have a tough time just continuing to do the same thing month after month.